Dear viewers, this video is not intended for younger audiences due to the critical nature, mature themes, in some cases, and adult language used. Raven Pine's commentaries are made for the purposes of critique, entertainment, and educational value. Any potshots, insults, or any fits of anger are made for comedic effect and are not done in any way to attack the person or people I cover in these videos. If it offends anyone, I apologize for that, as it is not my overall intent. I ask those watching the video, those that I commentate on, to be respectful and to not fight over this or any other subjects will be discussed further down the line. Thank you for your cooperation. Sincerely, the creator of this video.
Thank you for coming to headquarters on such short notice.
We apologize for disrupting your schedule. We will take you out to dinner to make it up to you.
You guys were disrupting my schedule. I had way too much free time on my hands anyways.
Oh good. Anyways, we have something that we would like to show you.
Oh really? What is it?
It's about your avatar arsenal.
Avatar... arsenal?
There was something lying around. It looks like some giant colorful key.
Hold on! Did you say giant colorful key?
Yeah. What is it again? I don't remember.
It's Destiny's Embrace from Kingdom Hearts!
Kingdom what?
Good thing I have some material that matches with this avatar. Let's do this thing. Here with a brand new commentary. So, context. Liam Ferguson of GameRant wrote an article about how Kingdom Hearts should take inspiration from the Persona franchise, and, yeah, that's questionable. Just so we're clear, while I do have some knowledge on both of these franchises, I've only played a bit of Melody of Memory and Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, and I have seen gameplay of Persona 5, so my experience with these franchises is kinda limited. Y'all will have to bear with me on that. So, without further hesitation, let the Keyblade duel begin. But before we start, I would like to inform you all that Keyblade Master Sanity has sadly passed away had he been reading the article in question already. Let us hold a moment of silence in its honor.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes.
Now let us begin.
Kingdom Hearts recently finished its first major story arc. The Xehanort saga has been going on since the beginning of the series, even before Xehanort was introduced. Ever since then, many additional story elements have been introduced to build the saga into the interdimensional epic, culminating in Kingdom Hearts 3 going beyond the bounds of reality itself. The fanbase is still basking in the afterglow of all its revelations and plot twists, with Melody of Memory and Kingdom Hearts Union Cross helping to tide them over until the next big entry. For lore keepers of the franchise, it has never been a better time to be a Kingdom Hearts fan, but for everyone else, it's never been harder to get into Kingdom Hearts. A major issue KH's narrative runs into is an overabundance of important nouns. Sometimes these nouns, such as Kingdom Hearts itself, refer to more than one thing or person. With many side plots having been built up over the years, there is a lot of data that someone needs to know to get the optimal story experience out of Kingdom Hearts. That's why now is a perfect time for a fresh start going into Kingdom Hearts 4. Square Enix should look to its competitor Heartless for storytelling inspiration, as a Persona-like approach would benefit the series greatly.
Wait, since when was Kingdom Hearts 4 confirmed?
Where is the source for that shit? Citation, motherfucker! Do you speak it?
Ma'am, let's not go on a rampage!
What the fuck?!
My apologies, everyone. It appears that our friend is allergic to bullshit. But anyways, even if Tetsuya Nomura did confirm any news of Kingdom Hearts 4 being in development, the idea of the game taking the Persona approach is not really the best idea, since Kingdom Hearts and Persona are two completely different game franchises altogether in terms of gameplay mechanics and whatnot. Yes, they are RPGs, but Kingdom Hearts is hack and slash, while Persona is more turn-based with some exploration in the mix. Also, keep the mention of Union Cross in mind because that's gonna be really weird later. Additionally, Persona's story is not really overarching, whereas KH's story is overarching as hell. The only thing that could happen could be that the future KH games would be more and more unclear in its timeline, which people who aren't fans already do tend to struggle with. There was one time that Persona's story was overarching aside from Persona 1, which I'll get into later.
Kingdom Hearts should have distinct installments like Persona. One of Persona's greatest strengths is that it segregates its games into self-contained stories. While the Persona games do share a continuity, they do not have much overlap and mainly share concepts and gameplay. Each game is marketed to look different and is told with a different framing device. A good example is how Persona 4 is about a detective club, while Persona 5 is about a gang of phantom thieves. In this way, the Persona games all stand out from one another, and new fans are able to enjoy the story of any given game without playing the others. Kingdom Hearts couldn't be more different. The series is known for building its newest story on the combined plots of every game that came before. While there are technically side games, there are no spin-offs. The story of every game is accounted for when proceeding to the next, which can make the original Kingdom Hearts feel odd and disconnected. This has the unfortunate effect of keeping newcomers away from the series and forcing them to either do research online or play most of the games themselves. There are game collections that help them accomplish this, and Kingdom Hearts 4 is long enough away that it can be done, but it really shouldn't be like this in the first place.
Listen, overarching storylines in games aren't necessarily a bad thing, especially in the case of Kingdom Hearts, since not everyone has to play all the games in order to understand the story, since a lot of the other games are on handheld consoles and on mobile phones. For instance, in the case of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, since you mentioned it earlier, it is a game designed for iOS and Android devices that has since been discontinued at the time the article was written. Of course, this accounts for other Kingdom Hearts games on handheld consoles that connect to the main story itself: Birth by Sleep, PSP, Chain of Memories, Game Boy Advance, Dream Drop Distance, 3DS, 358 over 2 days, Nintendo DS. The point is, not every handheld game in the franchise is accessible to every single person on Earth. About the original Kingdom Hearts feeling disconnected? No. Let's make this argument for all the sagas, since they instantly come to mind here. The prequel games, or more specifically BBS and 0.8, do a lot for the original, as they show the reasons for Mickey and Riku staying on the other side of the Kingdom Hearts door. And they also show everything about how Sora is how he is due to Ventus. Gosh, I realized I was missing something major here. I want to take this time in post-editing to expand my point about Sora's connection to Ventus, since I was able to find this out later on. Spoiler warning for Birth by Sleep, by the way. So, after the battle between Ventus and Vanitas and the X-Blade and his darkness getting destroyed, he loses his heart, leaving him in a comatose state, thus having Aqua placing his body in a chamber within Castle Oblivion. Somehow, Ventus's heart finds its way to a young Sora's heart in his own awakening, so we see his heart passing on into Sora's body until it is fully healed. If that part's not evident to Ventus's connection to Sora, I don't know what is, since his heart is awakened in Kingdom Hearts 3 after Sora unlocks the power of waking that rests within him for 11 years. Well, that about does it for the post-Raven show. We now return you to your semi-regularly scheduled commentary. If you are referring to Chain of Memories, 358 over 2 days, Dream Drop Distance, and 3, then what are you even talking about at this point? They all lead into the next hypothetical game. If you're referring to Roxas, well, yes. He relates to the original. Roxas was made from the Keyblade when Sora got stabbed, as he is Sora's nobody. Namine is Kairi's nobody, as Kairi's heart was inside Sora's heart during KH1. I didn't even know much about all of this before, so big thankies from Expankies to Hypochromia for pointing this out to me during the script checking phase. As for the Persona franchise, yes, a majority of the games are self-contained stories, with some exceptions being Persona 1, as I have mentioned earlier, and Persona 2. Why? 4 words: innocent, sin, eternal, punishment. This means that Persona 3, 4, and 5 have self-contained stories, as you stated. This really feels like you're just grasping at straws with this comparison. Not to mention that the side games in the Persona series, such as Dancing All Night and Q, have continuity despite being non-canonical, whereas everything in Kingdom Hearts is related to the story. Comparing 4 and 5 completely destroys the continuity argument, as there are literally no similarities between plots aside from Igor's existence.
A fresh start for Kingdom Hearts. Now that the series is moving on to Kingdom Hearts 4, or whatever the next major Kingdom Hearts is called, there is a chance to begin anew. The story should make use of the new setting of Quadritum to introduce elements and let them stand on their own. The story of Sora and Riku will have to conclude eventually, and Yozora has implied that he knows Sora somehow, but that plot thread can wait. Yozora and his own friends can be given their own problems to deal with, separate or related to the foretellers, who could be taken in many directions. This new style of storytelling should not end with the next game. Even if the various upcoming Kingdom Hearts games need to jump around the multiverse to different parties of characters, every individual story should make an effort to stand on its own. Not every plot point needs to build on top of the rest every time. This will help the series draw in new fans, and could even provide the first good starting point the series has had since Kingdom Hearts 1. Anything that Kingdom Hearts can do to stop being confusing for newcomers should be a priority.
I'm gonna bring up another thing about Kingdom Hearts 4 now before it starts to bother me to oblivion. I mean, sure, lots of speculation for that came when Melody of Memory's ending had Kairi shown as the main character, but that is not sufficient evidence of Kingdom Hearts 4 being confirmed. Again, if you have evidence of Kingdom Hearts 4 being confirmed by anyone at Square Enix and or Disney, show it! How the hell is that hard? The only thing for newcomers to do to not be confused about the story is to play the games in release order, if need be for the lore keepers of the series. If they want to do it in chronological order, that's fine. But you shouldn't just sit there and not expect the newcomers of the series to connect the dots with the overarching plot of the games. Not to mention that the second paragraph is really problematic on its own. The whole thing on making every game stand on its own is just plain stupid. Because if you want Nomura and his team to make new characters and have them be used for that game, not only would it complicate the games further, but it would be the exact same thing you said was bad, that it makes the original feel less important. Also, the whole introduce new fans thing, I mean, sure, it would be hard for a new fan to get into the series now, but why do you think the collection sets exist? These games can give players the full experience and give back some money to the publishers and developers, so it works on both a fan base and a business perspective. The article basically ends here, and with all that said and done, the Heartless are gone, and the balance between light and darkness are now restored. My goodness, this article was awful. Liam, you keep saying that Kingdom Hearts should be like Persona when you seem to be forgetting one thing. If you really want Square Enix's answer to Persona, look into The World Ends With You. Oh wait, that's right, the latest game in that franchise is a Persona 5 ripoff according to the majority. This leads into one point I want to make. Not every RPG has to be like Persona or Final Fantasy or what have you, and you shouldn't look at other RPGs with that expectation. Otherwise, you'll get statements like A is a ripoff of B, or Y is just like Z. My advice would be to try not to compare two different game franchises together, saying that one should be like the other. It's just a rifle to grenade comparison at best. I hope this helps. If it doesn't, oh well, at least I got that out of the way for even bigger projects in the future. That's all I have for this video. Until next time, this is Raven Pine saying take care and be kind to one another. Adios! Whew! Glad I got that done. Let's just hope that the lady who went on a rampage is okay. You're still here. It's over. Go home. Oh, you're expecting a teaser for my next com. Well, I don't have that kind of money. What were you expecting? Me playing Sora and Smash? Go! 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 Oh. But I can tell you one thing though, and it's a bit of a secret. My next com is gonna be completely different. It's gonna be a bit of a sub-series to the Raven Pines Commentaries canon that I've got going on, and it's gonna break the mold a bit. So yeah, big secret. Shh. Oh, and don't leave your garbage lying around. It's total bitch move. Go. Chicka chicka.